Hey YouTube, this is MKSVNT out of Webster, Massachusetts. Just checking up on some news at lunch. Looks like Perry's out. He's all done. And he threw his chips and endorsement over to Newt Gingrich. Why? Who the hell knows? Because Newt's got his own issues with his ex-wife coming out today or tomorrow with some bombshell news, which we probably already knew the guy was a sleaze anyway. He was the House Speaker, and they hated him there. He shouldn't have made it this far. So what's that leave us? Mitt and Rick. Well, let's take Mitt first. Mitt is a pretty well-to-do guy. He's got plenty of money offshore accounts, avoiding taxes. He's got a yacht that he doesn't park in Massachusetts because the taxes on parking is his yacht there. He also has a record of the health insurance in Massachusetts. He wrote it. He told everybody that it was good for the country and good for individuals, that everybody gets health insurance and you have to pay for it. If you don't pay for it, you get fined. Pelosi even said you should go to jail. All these bills have been passed from Mitt. I told you about the trying to appeal a verdict from a judge. Now you got to pay $25. I mean, this is all his doing. So in my eyes, the guy says he's for small government, but he wants to put mandates on everybody to get him health insurance. That's not small. That's not constitutional. And it's been ruled down in numerous places, numerous judges saying that it's unconstitutional. You can't do that. It's a form of slavery when you tell somebody you have to pay for this and accept these services. It's a form of slavery when you tell doctors you have to take these patients at this price. You have to. It's a form of slavery. All right. Then we got Rick. Rick is a funny character. He's getting the evangelical endorsement, but he's wanting us to go to war with Iran. He calls for it to start right away. He wants it to happen now. He doesn't want to wait till they get a reactor able to power up cities. He wants to destroy them now. He wants to cause a war now. No more waiting. And as far as the NDAA, he says that's old news. We're already doing it. We did it to an American citizen that joined with the Al-Qaeda. We put a bullet in his head or dropped a bomb on his head, whichever the one. It doesn't matter. It's still murder. So he's okay with murdering American citizens without a trial and without representation. And he also likes the idea of, indefinite detention against anybody that might be against the policy of the United States. So there's Mitt and there's Rick. Now you can go into a lot more with both of them, but those are the high points that I'm trying to make my point with, is that these guys are liars. They're not conservatives. They're jokes. They spin everything to sound less intrusive, but the reality, everything they want is extremely intrusive, and it takes away from we the people. And then you got Ron Paul, Dr. Ron Paul. Delivered babies, saw the beginnings of life, helped out people that didn't have insurance. He did it for free. They've slandered him. They've done everything they can, but they can't do much because none of it's true. The guy's steadfast in his beliefs, and you know what you're going to get. So here we are. We got these characters, and we've got a choice to make. Years before, and I've heard it said many times, it's to pick the lesser of two evils. In America, is that really is it really that way, where we've got two bad choices, that we got to pick between two bad choices? I mean, that's what they force us to believe. Oh, well, this guy won't do that, this guy won't. It's the same cutout. They're all the same cutout, just different shades. That's it. There's no difference. Ron Paul, with the exception of Ron Paul, he's got some issues that he's bringing to the table. He's got some things that need to be talked about that nobody else will touch. He took his time out of the campaign trail to go do his obligation for the position he holds in government, and he put a bill. He put a move to repeal some of the NDAA. He knows he can't get all of it, but at least he can grab some of that detention of American citizens out of it. So he's making an attempt. Now, this guy lives what he says. The other two go back and forth, you know, depending on which way the wind's blowing. But Dr. Ron Paul, he's got an idea. He's got momentum. And everywhere you go on the internet, whether it's Mitt Romney's website or YouTube videos from Santorum, they all talk about Ron Paul. It's funny. You go in, you'll see Rick Santorum's videos from his big win out in Iowa, you know, which is now, you know, old news. Everybody's talking in the comment boxes. Everybody's talking about Ron Paul. They're not talking about Rick, and then they're not talking about Mitt either. On most of the ones on Mitt and Santorum, if you go to their YouTube channel, their comments have been taken offline. You can't make comments. But on the other ones, you know, people that upload and leave the comments open to be said, it's all about Ron Paul. So if this many people are really behind Ron Paul, why isn't mainstream media covering it? Well, because mainstream media isn't mainstream media. A lot of the funding comes from the government on some of these, you know, MSN, NBC, CBS. They're funded by the government. And it's pretty evident by what you're seeing on TV, how they're disregarding Ron Paul's position and calling him a kook, that they've got an agenda themselves. So they're losing credibility in big ways. I mean, you see scores of Rachel Maddow getting 335,000 viewers, where you take somebody like Bob Chapman, who's an economist, or Joe Salente, or Shift, or any of these guys that are not on mainstream media, just kind of doing their own thing. They've got 600,000 views. They've got 25 to 2,800 subscribers. Some of the videos from Alex Jones, you know, he's got over 6 million viewers daily on his show. So mainstream media is pretty much nothing. I should rename them the government-funded talking heads, dumbing down media. That's what they should be called. So now we've got a real choice for president. No longer do we have to pick the lesser of two evils. We've got an evil and a good. So it'd be interesting to see where we go with that one. And if mainstream media and the powers that be can manipulate the voting, we'll probably end up with somebody like Mitt. But the table has been set for a movement that we can honestly say the people have the power. The few that govern this country and the few that got bought and paid off are no longer regarded as leaders. They're regarded as crooks. It's everywhere, you know. 9% approval rating on Congress, 32% approval rating of the president. The bad news is the 32% is still stupid. The 32% don't understand that what they're watching on TV is lies. And the 9% that still support the Congress, well, they're probably hold office somewhere. I don't know. I don't get it. Why would anybody believe what these turkeys are saying? So now we've got a choice between good and evil. So what are we going to do with it? We don't have to pick the lesser of two evils. Now we've got a good and an evil. What are we going to do with it? Hey folks, if you're looking at this video and you want to share something with me, or you want to have a conversation, mksvnt@hotmail.com. You can email me, or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we'll see how all this plays out. I got a feeling though that by March you're going to see a lot more corruption that's coming out of Congress and the White House and the DOJ. You're going to see a lot more. It seems like more and more investigations are being popped open. So we'll see where that goes. I'd love to see a revolution, meaning I'd love to see these dirtbags removed from office, tried for treason, thrown in jail, and Joe the plumber become vice president, and maybe Steve the mechanic will become president. I mean, these guys have more sense and understand what it takes to be successful, because they work, they live in it. All right, if you got any comments, please leave them. Be good, people.